It's all grifters, all the way down. Okay, boomer TikTok influencer called a hypocrite after showing off $2 million flat. You may remember Miss Neekolul. She made a video where she was wearing that Bernie shirt. In fact, she is the star of the painting we have in the Timcast IRL studio that shows Joe Biden emerging from the shadows as a Junji Ito-style monster and then consuming this young woman, like literally eating her body. She has the Bernie thing. It's backwards. It's by G Prime 85, George Alexopoulos. So we're all very familiar with her. She made a video where she's dancing with the Bernie shirt. It got 50 million views. You may have seen it. She recently was wearing a Tax the Rich hoodie, and she's endorsed democratic socialist views. She is now being roasted because she made a YouTube video showing off her $2 million apartment, with many people saying she fled where she lived previously so that she could pay less taxes in Texas. Some people pointed out that Texas has no like state income tax or something like that. I don't know if that's true. I think it's, look, here we're gonna play a game, my friends. I actually have some defense of Miss Neekolul, and I have a rude awakening for most people who are critical of her politics. Could it be that guys want to give attractive women money and they don't care about her politics? Yes. Over on Reddit, people are saying, I literally could care less what her politics are. One dude even saying, I only follow her for her body. Well, there you go. I think she knows that. I don't think she has strong political views, but this is the issue. I want to point something out. It's all grifters all the way down, baby. It's all grifters, okay? Every single person, every single one of them, all right? Because everyone's going to accuse everyone else of being a grifter, but everyone thinks they're doing good work because no one is the villain in their own story. So what do you get? Well, if your views align with a large enough group of people, those people will support you. And if that makes your views at odds with another group of people, they'll oppose you. In the end, this is a story about an attractive young woman who has lots of followers because she's an attractive young woman, and her politics are completely ancillary. It doesn't matter. It is less to do with her success. Now, I will point out, why is Tim Pool, who typically talks about politics, weighing in on a TikTok influencer and hypocrisy? It's because there is a very amazing phenomena which needs to be brought up when we're talking about finance and politics and culture. And it's that these democratic socialist type are all about taxing the rich and the millionaires and the billionaires until they themselves become the millionaires and the billionaires. Just like with Bernie Sanders. What does Miss Neekolul say now? I think when people are talking about the rich, what they're really trying to say is the billionaires and people with like an obscene amount of money. No, I don't. When I talk about the wealthy, I'm quite literally talking about the wealthy, which includes people who have $1 million and includes people who have $1 billion and people who have $180 billion like Jeff Bezos. But I think my intention is just to get to the truth. I don't fault Jeff Bezos for having $180 billion. Congratulations on making Amazon. I fault him for being a creepy authoritarian weirdo who bans books. Mark Zuckerberg, congratulations. Hardworking guy, made a platform that's very powerful, and now he controls elections. I don't blame him for being successful and rich. I don't blame him for being a billionaire. I blame them for what they do with their billions of dollars. But it's tough. It's tough. Everybody complains about everybody else about what they should or shouldn't be doing with their money, and there's no easy way out. You know, people criticize me and they say, you know, now there's this big controversy. People are like, Tim changed once he got money, man. It's like, actually, I didn't. I'm doing much of the exact same thing I've always done. And I tell you this, man, it is true. I know a lot of people don't want to hear it. Mo money, mo problems. It doesn't mean that life gets worse. You know that old song, Mo Money, Mo Problems? It doesn't mean that your life is worse off. No, let's be real, dude. Money makes your life better, period. Look at Neekolul, man. $2 million apartment. Congratulations, lady. Your career's taken off and you got wealth. You know, maybe now your opinions will change. She's claiming her opinions haven't changed. That's not true. Her opinions have changed. Or at the very least, she's now expressing them quite differently, much like Bernie Sanders did. Bernie Sanders became a millionaire and then told people, if you want to be a millionaire, go write a best-selling book. No joke. And then he stopped saying the millionaires. Bernie Sanders used to go, the millionaires and billionaires in this country. Then he started saying, that was actually kind of a weird Bernie Trump. Anyway, now he says, the billionaires in this country. He really did. There was an article, it was hilarious. It was like, you can actually track the moment Bernie stopped saying millionaires. And I thought it was funny because I'm like, dude, somebody's got $900 million. It's like, they're almost a billionaire and they can absolutely manipulate politics in the election and all that. You don't need that much money to do it. So I'm still critical of all of the same stuff in the same way, even though my business has been successful. I'm actually, the way I often explain it to people. So I made a video on the vlog. We have the Cass Castle vlog. Inside Tim Pool's crazy $1 million skate mansion. Yes. I'll explain to you now why Neekolul made a video talking about a $2 million flat. Because she's trying to get clicks. She's trying to make people see this and be like, I want to see something I don't normally see. If you take a look at Casey Neistat's vlogs, he was often doing like the $50,000 plane ticket, the $1 million, train ride or whatever. And he would get tens of millions of views. Because people want to see what it's, people want to be hopeful, I guess. They want to see something big and crazy. They want to believe in grandiose visions of things. So Neekolul is just trying to play the game. She is a capitalist. She may say she supports some democratic socialism, but she is a capitalist true to her heart. And I'm not saying that to drag her. I mean, she's running her business rather effectively. Now, I am an unrepentant capitalist. I love and accept and appreciate capitalism. So no one cared when I was like, look at my $1 million mansion. People were like, that's cool. But I'll point out, the skate mansion that we have, it's a workplace. And one of the reasons we're slow to make these vlogs every day is because it's actually kind of boring for the most part. Like, I just sit here and work and read all day, and people are on a computer doing administrative work. And then we have this big space we want to make seem exciting when it's probably not as exciting as you actually think. And I'll break it down for you. Let me read you some of the criticism first, and then I'll lay down a defense of Neekolul in some capacity and a very heavy criticism of the democratic socialist movement. Now, and again, I'm not saying all democratic socialists. There are a lot of them who absolutely are true to their values. Indy 100 says, okay, boomer TikTok influencer called hypocrite after showing off $2 million flat. They say Nicole Sanchez, known as Neekolul, became an online sensation last year after uploading a clip of herself to TikTok sporting a Bernie Sanders t-shirt while dancing to a song consisting of the lyrics, whatever you say, boomer. Okay, boomer. Sanchez, 23, who has also endorsed Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's Tax the Rich t-shirt, is prolific across all the main social media platforms, racking up well over 1 million followers. But she is now being accused of bragging about her wealth after uploading a video offering fans a $2 million apartment tour. The 10-minute long video sees her flaunting off her smart Martha Stewart-style kitchen, controlled via iPad, East Wing gaming room, master bedroom with 180-degree views of the city skyline, and walk-in wardrobe, among other fancy features. However, viewers were largely unimpressed by Sanchez's new home, with one clip racking up almost 10 times as many dislikes as likes on YouTube alone. One person wrote, Nico's whole MO, or modus operandi, ew, rich people. Also Nico, $2 million apartment tour. Another said, she went from eat the rich to let them eat cake very quickly. While the third offered a more general assessment. The overwhelming majority of people who endorse socialism love living their capitalist lifestyles. There it is. That's true. If you're a socialist in this country and you're making a ton of money, Nico, you like Bernie, you want to tax the rich, you want to fight for the cause, and Hassan as well. Guys, I'm from the bottom of my heart, I mean this sincerely. Have you considered a startup city? No, I'm not even kidding. I'm like legit. Because I've looked at, right now, so we're basically in like the Harper's Ferry area. Most people have already figured that out by now. And so it's basically out there. And this is the West Virginia, Maryland, Virginia area. There is a lot of suffering in this area. In West Virginia, people are, they're not making enough money. In the area in Western Maryland, it's a lot of drugs. It's really bad. And so I've been thinking about getting away from cities and creating an opportunity to give people jobs for local work and stuff like that. So we've hired a ton of local work for contracting and things like that. It helps revitalize the area, and that's awesome. So for Nico and Hassan, and I mean, I'm not being critical in any capacity. I'm genuinely suggesting you guys could take your internet operations where you make this money and bring it to a smaller town or area. I don't know where Hassan lives. I think he lives in California. But this would be a great opportunity to create a community that has your values. You can go to a small town that's maybe lost industry and is dying and essentially use capitalism in a way to create a more democratically socialist community. So if you go to a small town, of which there are many, where there's still a lot of buildings, they need a lot of work, and the local community is suffering, you could then come in, infuse money into the system, and with that, invite more people to join in this town to work, and you guys share values, and you vote for those shared values. In the United States, nothing is stopping any socialist from starting their own commune. You are legally allowed to do it. Ron Paul brings it up. I strongly encourage them to do so. You don't have to live in these big cities and be a DSA type. You don't have to advocate for taxing a bunch of other people. You can just take the bull by the horns yourself, figuratively, and do it. So, in the meantime, it is interesting that many of these people do enjoy their capitalist lifestyles. Here's my big criticism. I am fully aware that I am standing atop a throne of skulls. You think I don't know that? Do you not realize this? The slave labor and oppression that goes into the creation of these cameras and these computers and these microphones? I know it, and it's bad. So I stopped buying iPhones because of what was going on at the Foxconn laboratory. And I'm well aware about the other things that are manufactured by Foxconn, and I do my best to try to avoid these things. I take care about my diet. We've been we've been focusing much more on local farm-raised products, beefs. Going to farms not only better for your health. I'm not a big fan of factory farms. We have our own chickens. I am far from perfect. I am absolutely worthy of criticism, but I try my best. Now, just coming out and having that message and saying, hey, support Democratic Socialist candidates like Bernie, it's not enough, in my opinion. You've got to live it. Live by example and encourage others and expand upon these ideas. As for Neekolul, I do not believe that she's actually a hardcore political figure. I don't think she cares all that much. I think she's a regular young woman who was enthralled by the political landscape of 2020 and, 2019 or whatever. And Bernie was on the rise. So she got a Bernie shirt and she's saying what many people her age and around her have been saying, but she doesn't know a whole lot about it. I don't fault her for it, nor do I actually care. She's not a prominent political figure with influence in politics. People are literally watching her videos and just saying they like her body. They're allowed to say that. That's the nature of the internet. I do find it funny how people really, really don't like this phenomenon of, women on Twitch and everything and OnlyFans. And I'll tell you this, I'm not a fan of like women who just get paid for the sake of being women, but welcome to humanity. I do think technology has created a problem in that now you've got people online who, instead of going out and, finding that special someone, they just give money to these, attractive young women on the internet. And these attractive young women on the internet, instead of going out and finding that someone, just make money by being cute and, saying cute things on the internet. But also, I'm fairly libertarian. I got no beef, none whatsoever. I'm impressed by the capitalistic endeavors that she's accomplished. But let's talk about something here. First, let me show you, this is the video from Neekolul. Look at that beautiful, beautiful view. She gets 100,000 views in this video. Those thumbs down mean very little in the long run. It can be bad for a channel getting thumbs down. So, a lot of people don't like it, but ultimately she gets a ton of views. She gets a ton of PR. She's becoming more and more famous, and good for her. Now, let's talk financial stuff before we get back into the Bernie Sanders stuff. A $2 million apartment. What does that mean? Perhaps she got an adjustable rate loan with no money down or something, or maybe she got a fixed mortgage at a really high percentage with no money down. So maybe she's paying 5%, zero down. Literally zero down. Her monthly expenses on this apartment probably come to around, I'd imagine, $8,000 to $10,000 on her mortgage. A good portion of which, probably like most of it, is going towards interest, effectively paying rent to a bank. She can brag about her $2 million apartment, but she lives with some other guy. They're probably splitting it. And $4 to $5 grand a piece. That ain't chump change. But she is a successful internet personality, so of course she can afford it. A lot of people assume that simply because she has a $2 million apartment, she has $2 million. She doesn't. She actually has, if she owns it, the asset on her books and the liabilities. And because of the interest, her liabilities outweigh her assets, and her net worth is probably negative. No joke. So what happens is, once you reach a certain level of income, I'd imagine, I don't know how much she's making. She did a video where she talked about it. I don't think she's a millionaire. But I certainly think she's making several $100,000, which is more than enough to finance a $2 million apartment. Is she wealthy? Yes. Do I think she's the 1%? I honestly don't. She may be. She very well may be. And maybe she is. Okay. So actually, let me take that back. She's probably the 1%, but not the 0.1%. But let's talk about taxing the rich. Before I do, I will simply point out she's been getting slammed on all of her YouTube videos. People are not happy with her over this stuff. And so they're giving her a lot of thumbs down. I don't think she really cares all that much. I don't think it's going to negatively impact her in the long run. But she does have a video here called How Much Money Do I Make? Googling myself. In it, she says this. I think at the end of the day, they do mean like billionaires. Now, here's where we can talk about the politics and Mr. Bernie Sanders. I actually think we should tax the rich. I do. However, the problem is I don't like the idea of just giving money to a corrupt government. So that actually puts me in the milquetoast fence sitter category of I don't know what we should do. Like, I don't like the idea that the millionaires and the billionaires in this country have undue influence over our elections. And you get people like Michael Bloomberg and Tom Steyer who dump $500 million into an election cycle to ban guns. And it's effective. These blue states start banning guns across the board because the ultra wealthy are pushing this. And then people say, yeah, well, it's a free market and the right can do it. Yes, please tell me, where are the right-wing billionaires to defend our gun rights? Sure, I know you have the Koch brothers, you have the Mercers, but the left has more institutional power and more money. So we've got ourselves a very serious problem. I do not like the idea of the ultra wealthy having more say than a person because rights are not to be voted upon. I have a right to keep and bear arms. Just because Tom Steyer is a billionaire doesn't give him the right to manipulate the elections through propaganda commercials and campaigns to take my rights away. That being said, yeah, people tweet at me. They're like, you want to tax the rich, Tim? Start with you. Bro, I ain't a leftist. Well, actually, I'm kind of left, but I'm not one of these hypocritical morons. I know what that means. I pay taxes. I pay a lot of taxes. The problem I have with the system is that we probably shouldn't be ramping up massive taxes on people just because they make $401,000 and $1,000. I mean, granted, they're only paying a high tax on that $1,000, but we should be creating a higher tax bracket for those who are making more than $15 or $20 million. I don't like Zuckerberg manipulating the game. I don't like him playing these games. But take a look at the likes of the Democratic Socialists, Bernie Sanders, Neekolul. They talk about the rich all day and night, but as soon as they break that barrier, so maybe she's a millionaire, I don't know. As soon as they break that barrier, what happens? I just mean the billionaires. Nobody really means the millionaires. I do. I legit mean the millionaires. That guy who's sitting on $500 million and can dump $20 million into a local election and then jam critical race theory and a ban on guns through the vote. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I think it's got to be consent of the governed. But it's funny how this happens, right? CNBC reported this. Bernie Sanders is saying millionaires less often. One way his 2020 message has changed. Now, why did that happen, Bernie? What happened, Bernie? Oh, Think Progress, April 10th, 2019. Bernie Sanders is a millionaire. The 1%er hopes no one notices that he's moved up in the world. I got no problem with Bernie being a millionaire. In fact, more power to him. If you want to be a millionaire, maybe you should write a best-selling book too, right? How about that, Bernie? That's what you said? Oh, Bernie's right. The problem is, here's the problem I have with this. These ultra-wealthy Democratic socialists, bro, you bought a $2 million apartment. I understand, like I said, she may have put no money down, but she doesn't need it. She genuinely does not need it. It's luxury. Now, I know people are looking at me and saying, Tim, you got this $1 million skate mansion. My actual house, believe it or not, my actual house, tiny, very tiny. I think it's like let me think. It's a 3-bedroom, like 1,000 square feet. Why? It's all I need. And you know, it's in the woods. It's great. This is a production facility for a business and it operates for the business. So if Nico wants to get a $2 million property because she's expanding her operation and wants to, you know, grow and do more and spread that message, more power to her. But if someone who claims to be a democratic socialist is buying massive luxuries, then I'm going to call them out. Sorry. So I can defend her in a certain sense that I don't think she's actually political. But then I would humbly request that many of these political figures like Bernie and anybody else who's making tons of money off democratic socialism do some simple thing. Give. Don't give it all away. You're allowed to be rich, but give. Democratic socialists think that we should have a socialist system, but that it should be voted for. They don't believe in authoritarian communism where you go and make people do it. They think you persuade them over a long period of time. And you know what? They're right. However, I think socialism is wrong. And I think they'll have to use propaganda techniques, and that's coercion, manipulation. But if you have money, Nico, and you want to do this, like seriously, why buy a $2 million apartment? I never understood that. I never did. I know a lot of people are like, Tim, you have a Tesla. I have a Tesla for one reason. It is an electric car that I can hook up because I was worried about gas shortages and I want to be able to operate the business. So yes, it is true. I have luxury, 100%. But I'm also not a socialist. And I also do help out causes and try to give as much as I can. We did a bunch of GoFundMes where I've paid off medical bills for people whose pets were injured because they couldn't afford it. It was thousands of dollars. I tell people all the time, if you become a member at my website, timcast.com, and we'll call it a half promo, I guess, I'm not going to go buy an infinity pool with it. You know, we might make a hot tub powered by Doge mining rigs. And the goal of doing that is to build culture. Here's what you need to understand about all of this. You may be critical of Neekolul, but I'll tell you one thing. She's winning. 100%. First and foremost, she's rich. And, congratulations. More importantly, when she wears that Tax the Rich and that Bernie shirt, a lot of people will defend it for the sake of, just because she's Neekolul and they like her. So what happens? Nico is producing culture. She's buying a multi-million-dollar apartment. Maybe she's not buying it. Maybe she's renting it. She's making these videos that are attracting large viewership. And when people watch, they see Bernie on her shirt. That is massively powerful. You want to know what I did? The opposite. We set up a skate park venue. We're going to have people come out, hang out. And I have a Gadsden flag. Because I recognize the power of what she's doing and what they do. Now, a lot of people on the right are slamming her. By all means, do so. I think there's hypocrisy in here. But you need to understand, this works. You call her a hypocrite all day and night, her fans will double down and defend her. So what should we do? We have the advantage of being ideologically correct. Or I should say pure. And what do I mean by that? Correct and pure. Well, socialism doesn't work. It's never worked. And as people who believe in capitalist, be it laissez-faire or people who think there should be some regulations or whatever, we believe in a free market to a greater extent. Yes, that's what works. I don't think laissez-faire capitalism works perfectly, but it certainly works better than communism or even anarcho-communism. But I'll tell you what's pure. Me saying I am a capitalist who seeks to build a business and then making money and being like, I made money. I think it's funny. Somebody tweeted at me. They were like, this just proves, Tim just wants to make money, blah, blah. I'm like, bro, we're all capitalists here. So cry me a river. Of course, we're all trying to make money. But come on. If you think people are going out the villains of their own story, you're wrong. So it's all grifters all the way down, baby. Every single one. You might not like what I have to say or what I do. The left certainly doesn't. And now I got a bunch of people on the right who are mad at me about my opinions. But so be it. These are my opinions. I'll tell you what I'll never do. If you are on the right and you are mad about what I said about Andy No, by all means, you're allowed to be mad and yell at me all day and night. But I'll tell you this. I will never withdraw my opinion from the public discourse because I am afraid of losing money. Because this proves it's not about money for me. In fact, I say it all the time. I'd love nothing more than to just go skate every day, take a vacation, go to a mountaintop. But I'm passionate about this stuff. I have opinions. I'm going to say them. And you don't always like them. It makes it very difficult for me to compete with the likes of some of these bigger, more staunch conservative or leftist channels. If any one of these people running these big leftist YouTubes or big right-wing YouTubes had an ounce of the work ethic that I and my company did, they would be infinitely larger. But I'll tell you what I won't do. I won't just pander for the sake of pandering. My opinions are legit my opinions, and that puts me at odds with the tribes. There is not a big space in the center. You'd think there would be. It used to be that way. Now, hyperpolarization means you're in the left tribe or in the right tribe. Clearly, there is a large portion of people who watch this who lean towards the anti-woke, anti-establishment, and I guess that's colloquially referred to as the right. I do have a lot of left-wing viewers, but believe it or not, most people who watch my content are probably going to be much more moderate than people on the left or right. Makes it very difficult to grow. It does. I know that if I come out and just say whatever the right wants to hear, I'll get way more viewers and make way more money. The grifters, they know this. They'll come out and say tax the rich all day and night and then flaunt their capitalistic wealth. Nah, I'll admit it. I'm a capitalist. I think the wealthy there should be some kind of taxation or restrictions on wealth inequality in some capacity. I don't know ultimately, I say tax the rich, but I don't know if ultimately that works. Giving the government money just doesn't fix that problem. So honestly, I don't know how you solve for it. Maybe you don't. And that's the issue. I don't have all the answers. Just a lot of opinions. So I'll tell you this. Hey, Bernie, more power to you. Congratulations on being a millionaire. And Bernie, I don't think calls himself a socialist. Maybe he does, whatever. As for Neekolul, it's all about the billionaires, isn't it? No, congratulations, because you know what? You can be mad at her all day and night. She's going to be spreading democratic socialism to a lot of ignorant young people who just like her. You can rag on her all day and night, but she's winning. Accept that. Recognize why it's working and then counter it. Like I will make a skate park with a Gadsden flag in it. And we're going to do more things like that. The American flag, pro-America, all that stuff. And we're going to do silly, fun things. The goal of Cast Castle is not to be a silly trash vlog. It's to be a silly trash vlog that loves America and believes in freedom, classical liberalism, the rights of the individual, gives space to people who are marginalized by the media, whose voices need to be heard. And maybe it will be mainstream. And that's the point. We are going to make sure that people see this stuff and are like, that's cool. And that kids will grow up and be inspired by it. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 4 p.m. over at youtube.com/Timcast. Thanks for hanging out, and I will see you all then.